Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Joshua Ruka here, your host of the Impact Podcast Show. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching, for all those that are on YouTube. And also want to say thank you to all those out there listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify. And so before I do start, I want to share the mission. The mission is simple. We're always wanting to focus on the one and impacting one people, so one person. And like the reason why I'm wanting to do that is because even though there's so many people out in the world that are wanting to, impact millions, first we need to impact one person. So that's our aim and that's our goal. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. That's our main platform. And we do have Twitter and we have a YouTube channel, so consider subscribing. But guys, I want to get straight into the podcast. I've been so excited to talk to our next special guest. And before I do, I want to talk to you a bit about, how we met. So we met through footy, playing in the good old Cabramatta Rugby League Club. And, I was able to, have the honours and privilege to captain the side with him at one stage too. And to be able to play with him. And this guy has a mad story. I already know that he has a mad story. He has a mad upbringing, and I truly believe that he has a mad story that he can share to all you guys out there, so that you guys can be impacted and utilize what he's going to share for us today. So, guys, I want to introduce you guys, Mr. Joshua Carr. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the Impact Podcast.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
The first thing I want to get straight into it, man.
100%.
I believe in time, and that time is money. So I want to get straight into it, bro. So, bro, could you kind of share to us a bit about who you are? Just a bit of introduction of who you are for all those that don't know you.
Yep. For all you guys that don't know me, obviously my name's Josh. I'm a like my friend that's giving me the podcast today. So I'm a father of a beautiful little girl called Willow. She's just turned 1 year old. Proud father of her. My beautiful partner Madison. We've been together for 5 years now, so we're building our family slowly at the moment. We've got another one on the way, which is awesome. I've known Josh for how long now, bro? How long?
Long time, bro.
Honestly, I think since we're about. When did you start footy at Cabra?
Bro, I started like really at a young age, but I remember playing up in age though. I think it was when I transitioned to Division 1.
Because I still remember when we were younger. I think maybe I can't remember, maybe under 7s, under 8s, something like that. You were in Division 2.
Yeah.
And then we were in ones, and then you played up, and then you came back. And I think that's when you transitioned, because I think you went and played with Lungy. Did you play Yeah. And I still remember I used to come and play with you guys, because when you used to remember?
Yes.
I used to come up and play with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, far out. Yeah, so Josh and I have known each other for ages, man. We started playing footy together at Cabra from when we were young boys.
Yeah.
So from we're little boys. But so I play rugby league. I'm currently with the Cronulla Sharks. Currently in isolation because I had surgery on my knee it was in February. I dislocated my kneecap in August last year, so that sort of held me back a bit, but I'm grinding with my rehab like I always do. And I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit more about my journey so far and what's to come. So heaps keen. Yeah,
nice, bro. I appreciate you sharing, man. And I want to first I want to touch base on the footy side first.
Yeah.
I overheard you and you were talking about from us playing at a young age. But I remember you, bro. You were like a twig. You were like a twig, bro.
I know. I was a stick, bro. That was my nickname in high school. Sticks.
Really?
They used to call me Sticks at Westfields.
Really?
Oh yeah, Chopsy Wayne Lambkin. He was the head coach there. I still remember we walked in on year 7, our first day, and because I enrolled into Westfields late. So
yes, I remember.
Because I was going to Fairfield Pats, and then, anyways, went to Westfields late. First training session, right? All the boys had their Westfields kit, and I went with my Cabra kit because I had no kit. I hadn't been given it, so I felt like I was the odd one out, like I wasn't meant to be there. Anyways, but I sort of stood out because I was in different kit. Yeah. And then the head coach goes like, it was good. Like he took the piss out of me a bit, but it was good, man. He's like, oh, he called me Sticks straight away. He's like, because I was a twig, man. I was a twig. So, but yeah, so how skinny was I?
Bro, this guy, bro, like you see him now and you'll be like, bro, this guy's pretty big bloke. Bro, you should have seen him back in the days, man. Bro, what were you playing then? Do you remember?
I was playing half. Remember I used to play half, 5'8", play a bit of fullback.
Yes. Because bro, I was like a prop, bro. I was like a big prop, bro, back then.
Yeah, I was playing anywhere in the outside backs.
Yeah, man. True.
Yeah, hooker. Played hooker. Remember when I played hooker?
I remember, bro. Yeah. I remember when you played hooker, man. That was
I had that growth spurt.
Bro, legit, bro. You were like probably the tallest. You were the tallest hooker that I've seen, man. Oh man.
Yeah. I was playing a bit of anywhere in the outside backs is what I used to play. Yeah, I loved it. I wish I was still fast. That's the thing. I wish I was still fast, and I'd love to play in the backs, bro. I loved 5'8", man. I loved it. Yeah. I loved the halves. Just having control. You know what I mean? Like kicking game.
Yeah.
I love that part of footy. It's just like that instinct type footy. That's the best.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to plan anything. Where things just happen for you. So. That's what I loved about playing in the halves, bro. That was awesome.
It was awesome, bro. It was actually pretty beast, bro. Bro, did we end up going Tonga together?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, bro. I was playing 5'8" then. I was playing half, bro. Then. That was a good trip, though. That was a good trip,
bro. Yeah.
Bro, I remember we used to. I don't know. We used to go, bro. That's the first time I remember from that trip how cheap ice cream is there, man. I swear to God. Do you know the markets? Remember we used to go to the markets?
Yeah.
And we used to get those bands and that made up. They used to put your name or you can choose whatever design you want. Yeah. I still got that here, man. That was a great trip, bro.
Yeah,
you learned so much, man. That was awesome.
Bro. Because that's my home, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
I remember I was the only Tongan, bro. I was the only Tongan.
I know. You were, yeah.
And then, bro, I ended up finding out that I was on the Tongan radio, bro. They were like, oh, the captain of the side, he's the only Tongan boy. I was like, what the heck? I didn't even know, bro. Wow. Like, I didn't even know the language, right? Like, I'm probably the biggest plastic dude here, right? But bro, like, how mad, bro? Honestly, man, like, just even talking about it, bro, makes you miss miss junior footy,
Bro, we had. That trip there, we had some great people, man. We had Matty Vidal, yourself. I remember Richie Summersford was on the trip too.
Yeah,
we had Emad. I think Emad came. Emad came. I think maybe John Tuivasa. John
Tuivasa was in there too.
Yeah, bro. I'm not too sure if Izzy came or not. I don't think Israel came that year. I'm not too sure. No, but
bro,
he's another
guns,
legend. Oh, we had a
gun team, mate.
Oh. We had a good team, man. Team.
Bro, one thing I've been thinking about lately, is the Mounties boys,
Yeah, bro. I was just gonna say that, but we always just come close to Mounties. We used to get flogged. Remember when we used to get flogged by Mounties? Bro. They had players. They had Jordan just left Cabra. He went to Mounties.
Yeah, bro.
They had Mocky, Dion, bro. They had a stacked team.
Even Moses.
Yeah, then Mo came to us.
Yeah, bro. And they went back.
No, they all went to Fairfield United.
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
Year.
Yeah, that was bro, crazy.
I remember that year, bro. We beat Mounties, and Mo came with us, and that was the only time we beat them. Yeah. I remember we played them at Mounties, far out, bro. He's still a freak to this day.
No, legit, bro. But it's crazy, yeah. Like, bro, I was thinking about we'll talk a bit about it now. But I was thinking about it like. You've got the mad rivals in NRL, right?
Yeah.
Right, but then for me, I'm like, bro,
Mounties.
It was Mounties, right? Like us, like Cabra versus Mounties, like people, like if we. And
I went to Mounties for a year.
Yeah.
I went to Mounties for 1 year, so I was in when I was at Cabra, and then I remember Jason Hedges was our coach.
Yeah.
Remember Jason Hedges?
Yeah.
But but before Jason Hedges was our coach, Gary Bergerman was our coach, and Todd Stat, Gary.
Yes.
So he was remember when we were coming up, like when I was younger, like under 7s, under 8s, under 9s, And then I went to Mounties in under 10s for 1 year. And like, bro, I didn't feel right. I went back to Cabra after that. I was like, how can I play? We ended up winning the comp.
Yeah.
Because Mounties.
Yeah.
And then I just went back. I remember I went all right in that grand final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got player of the match in the grand final of that game, but I was like, nah, it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? No way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man. But crazy
awesome.
times, man. I was just thinking about the Mounties boys and Cabra, like the Mounties vs Cabra days. Like, bro, if you wanted an electrifying rival match, that was it, right?
Bro, we used to get some people come and watch those games.
Yeah, bro.
For junior clubs, like we used to get I reckon a few hundred, bro. I'm not even, sounds like nothing, but like when you're young, it's a lot.
100%, bro.
We used to get so excited. How good was it,
bro? I used to drop my balls, bro, because I was like, bro, this is an intense game, man.
You think about it for like 3 weeks ahead, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's what I miss, man. So like, I don't get like that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't get like that. I miss that feeling. It's brought back so many memories that I've probably needed, bro. To be
100%, bro.
Oh, they're good memories, bro.
No, legit, man. Bro. And bro, I was like, it would be mad to just have a conversation with one of the boys, one of the Mounties boys.
One of the Mounties boys.
Bro, let's have a conversation about, what happened in 2015 or 2014 and like our mad rivals, bro. Because
you should try and get more.
Bro, yeah, well, that's my next thought, bro. Get my cousin on board onto that. But just trying to obviously build up the podcast and stuff.
Yeah. I
want to talk to the real ones. Nah, Jakes. The real boys. Nah, bro. Like I'm keen, boy. I'm keen, man. I'm gonna get into that, bro. I want to get into that because, bro, the reason why I want to is because I feel like one thing I've been learning lately is that everyone has a story, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Everyone has a story to tell. But the thing is, right, when it comes to the NRL, the only thing that people really love is like your Cowboys versus Broncos matches,
That's
right?
it. Yeah,
I'm like, bro, we had matches like that.
Yeah, 100%.
We had matches like that when we were young.
I know.
And like, talk about hype, right? Talk about hype back then. Like, I'll never forget, right? I'll never forget, I think it was 2015 grand final.
Yeah.
I think we were playing out Marconi. Yeah, Marconi.
We almost won, bro.
We almost won, bro.
I think it was by 2 points or 1 point.
Yeah, it was, bro. It was only by 2 points, bro.
I think
that was when bro, do you remember Para? Like, do you remember when we played at Para?
That was like Para Stadium. That was
the Para Stadium one.
Yeah, that was the year before.
Yeah, bro, we lost by 2 points.
I know.
Bro, I'll never forget it, man.
Every year, bro. Every single year. But and that year at Marconi, I reckon we should have won because then we went and played the best in the West because Mounties, something happened with Mounties. Yeah. And they didn't play and then we had to play that. I reckon,
yeah, man.
Bro, we should have won that game. I still remember like there was like maybe a minute left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they had Vinny Takiri, bro. They had a stacked team, man.
Bro, we had a stacked team and then they had a stacked team.
Bro, just thinking about them, that like both teams, like so many players have gone on from them two teams, like to go into, New South Wales Cup, NRL squads. Like there's players that should be there that they just probably like Vinny was a freak, bro. I thought he would be playing first grade already.
100%, bro. So did I.
Yeah, but they had a stacked team. I remember there was like a minute left on the clock, man, and we got because I think we were all like something happened like at the end of the game. We almost scored a try. It got disallowed towards the end of the game. Or I think maybe there was a penalty goal and we kicked the goal or something like that, or they kicked the penalty goal because we were even. I
don't remember, bro. But all I know is I didn't feel good after.
Bro, that was probably the most hurt I've been after a grand final in like a junior club game.
Oh, bro.
That was my last.
Even now, we worked so hard too,
bro. That year we had Jason Hedges as a coach, bro, and we worked our arse off. But that was probably the last time I played. That was the last year I played for Cabra.
Yeah.
And then obviously with footy, like we went into Harold Matts that year, and then after that SG Ball and so on, and then I played I think one more year of club footy after that back at with Narellan.
Yeah, Narellan Jets.
Because so I went out here with just for 1 year with Sean Kepi.
Yep.
One of my best mates. So we went out here and played. It was our last year of juniors. So we wanted to play together after Maddie's because we got on so well for a long time. So like we finally got to play with each other. But yeah, man, I'll never forget them Cabra days. And that year too, we played in the grand final, and then we won. We beat teams that Narellan hasn't beaten in 4 years.
Yeah,
I remember we played Camden and we beat them the whole year, and then they dusted us up like by 30 plus points in the grand final. Far out, man. Just couldn't seem to win one. Oh, they were awesome times, bro.
Very good.
That was
Bro,
best time
I think that's one thing that I never kind of want to forget are those moments, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess that's what made you the man that you are now. You know,
yeah.
those moments, you know. I reckon for me, if I didn't have those Cabra Day moments, or, you know, going to Tonga, like, you know, having that trip to Tonga, bro, like, and then like from there, playing grand finals, having the Mounties versus Cabra rivalry, bro. Like, I've been thinking about it lately, man. I'm like, bro, if it was documented, right, like The Last Dance, right? You know, The Last Dance, like MJ. Bro, if they had a documentary, right, of our season back in 2015, 2014, bro, I reckon it will probably hit a lot of people, man, to understand.
100%. 100%.
How much of a hype it was.
It was a massive hype, bro. It was like, people don't understand. It was more like, you watch some like shows, like them quarterback shows and stuff, on Netflix where they go through high school and that. It was sort of like that, I reckon.
Yeah.
It reminds me something like that, but it's massive, mad times. I know.
Man. Very reminiscing, man. But you know what, bro? I want to touch base. I want to touch base more on your footy career, bro. I see where you are now, playing currently at Cronulla Sharks. You're obviously rehabbing at the moment. Bro, do you want to talk to us on how your career's been going for footy, man?
Yeah, sweet. Do you want me to start off from like sort of how I started off and how I've come through?
Yeah, anyway, man. Anyway.
Yeah, sweet. So like, as you guys probably know, as we just spoke about, Josh and I spent time at Cabra. So I started playing footy at Cabra. I started there at the age of 6, but I originally started playing footy for my school when I was 4. So I started when I was 4. I just love footy. I like live and breathe footy my whole life. So it hasn't really been easy for myself, like coming through. I've always been like in Division 1 teams and stuff like that. But I think I remember 13's development.
Oh yes.
I didn't make 13's development. I didn't make 14's development. Then I decided for 1 year I went and played with one of the boys at Liverpool. Then I made like a mid-season, like an end of year squad for West. I didn't make Australian schoolboys under 15s. I was like, when I was at Westfields, I was playing the last 3 minutes of the game. Like, I wasn't considered anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love footy so much, and I had this one goal. Like, I wanted to play first grade.
Yep.
And then my nan, when I was in 2010, my nan passed away of brain cancer and lung cancer. And the first thing she said, like one of the things she said to me, I want to, because she loved para. And and at the time I wasn't making any teams. I was just playing footy for the love of it. And so she goes to me, I want to see you, like when I'm gone, I want to see you play for para. Promise me you'll at least play for para. And I said, from that day, I made a promise to my nan that I wanted to pursue rugby league as a career. And so I worked so hard, man. My dad has seen the tears that have shed. Like now that I look back, development squads aren't really anything to like, you know, people don't make them and they go on and play first grade. But at the time, it was the most important thing in our lives because that's all we knew.
Yeah, man.
So I was shattered, but it only added fuel, you know, to the fire. So, so my nan said that. I went on, I think I was 13 or 14. So I still wasn't making, I was 14. Still didn't make 14. I didn't make 15 until I was playing. I think we made Sydney Southwest that year together, you and I.
Yes.
And then you made Sydney Gold. I didn't even make Sydney Gold.
Yeah.
I played Presidents, but from those tournaments, Para signed me to come back. Yeah. And I remember the Tigers, they offered me a 5-year deal. Ben Rogers was at the Tigers at the time. He's at the Souths now as a top bloke.
Yeah.
But I remember him. We went in for like a Cubs, like like we had academy.
Yeah.
So they took me to Cubs, and went in for screening on the first day, and all from there, like a manager picked me up. The great Stephen Moses. He's not a manager anymore, but now Isaac looks after me. He's a legend as well. He's had me since. He's been through everything with me. They know how much how hard I work and how much I want things, and then so everything sort of happened in a space of 4 months, 5 months. One for about 4 months I was at West. Then they offered me a 5-year deal, and then I said no, and I signed with Para for 3 years because I wanted to keep that promise to my grandmother. So that was massive for me, man. So so went on to play obviously with yourself in Howard Mats where you captained us.
Yep.
I remember it was you're the captain with Vinny, and then me and Adam Campbell were in the leadership group. I still remember that. So like I've gone from making nothing to being in Howard Matthews leadership group. I was like, let's go. But yeah, man, the amount of hard work, as you know, like for me, it's only been hard work. I always made sure I was the first to the drink bottles, like just the little things at training. I'd win 1.2 Ks. I'd always grind. Like, you know what I mean?
Don't even talk about that, bro.
The 1.2s. Oh, bro, everyone used to hate them. I still remember, but I used to love them, bro. I don't know why I used to love them. I don't love them anymore, but but I used to love them, bro. Like, and yes, just thinking about it, man. We had Barry Jones. He was our coach then. Good Bazza. He's a top bloke too.
Yeah.
We actually had a stint. We were going real good that year, and then I lost us the game against Western Sydney Academy because I didn't kick it out on the full when we had a penalty.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know how they came back, man, that game, but I still remember. I reckon I lost us the game because then Nasser was playing half at that time, but he was playing for
Western Academy.
And, Western Academy, and that we had to win one more game to make to the semis.
Yeah,
and we had a penalty with a minute to go. And Nasser caught the ball. He batted it back in or something like that.
Yeah.
And then one guy kicked that field goal. It was even.
Yeah, bro.
We lost. Far out, man. But yeah, so it went on from there, bro. Obviously then progressed through to SG Boy Year Young, where Aaron McDonald was the coach. He was a great coach too. He taught me so much. I still speak to him today.
Yeah.
And then we had SG Boy Top Age. We had Nathan Kalis. That's when I was like fortunate enough. I captained the side then with SG Ball, and it went on. They took me up straight after that to 20s. Spent the rest of the year at Para in 20s, and sort of made CHS that year. And yes, then I signed with Cronulla. So signed a 2-year deal with Cronulla, just 20s first year, NRL preseason the next year, and then I was lucky enough on my second year of 20s there, played Origin. So I was lucky to play 20s Origin there, and signed a rookie deal, like where you train full time, but you're signed that for full time for 2 years. So that now leads me into my second year. Went pretty good, bro. So been going real well, but I was hit with an injury last year.
Yeah.
In August, I dislocated my kneecap. So I've never had a serious injury before, man. I've always had terrible shoulders.
Yeah.
But they haven't been anything serious like this. So we tried to rehab my knee for about 5 months.
Yeah.
Try to get back onto the field, and I was close to playing in the national final for Newtown, where the boys went on to win that game. But it turned out I was limping like 10% on my right leg. That was like sort of one of the reasons why I didn't end up playing. So that's when they had a look and they assessed it, and they said, obviously we're going into the break. Just rehab over the break. Maybe because you're off your leg for 6 weeks, the swelling might go down. But in the back of my mind, I knew something was wrong. So turns out they sent me for my fourth scan. They sent me for my fourth scan in February, and turns out that I had like a articular cartilage defect in my knee.
Yep.
So the hole was like as big as a 20-cent piece in my cartilage. So where you put your weight on.
Yeah.
And I've been running on that for 5 months, which caused a fracture in my femur. So it was like a 13-centimeter fracture in my femur.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was a very serious injury, and I went and saw Dr. Parker. So Peter Musa had come from the Tigers.
Yep.
He's an awesome bloke, man. I couldn't speak highly enough of him and Paddy what they've done for me so far. So he come back and had a look at my knee, and he said, "Look, I'm going to take you to see this surgeon." And Dr. Parker is a surgeon, a very well-known surgeon for knees. And he pretty much said to me, like, if I would have left it for a few more months, I would have had to medically retire. Oh, wow. And so it was that serious. So taking me out to, I'm about 9 months post when I first injured it. I'm about 4.5 months post-surgery. And my fracture's healed 90%.
Come on.
And so that we've got to do another scan at the 6-month mark to see where my knee is, if the cartilage has regrown. So they've done this procedure like a stem cell procedure, where they drill holes into your femur, it bleeds through, and they inject it with some gel to make a cartilage form, like a false cartilage. So it's got like an 80% success rate, but because my hole was that big, they're not expecting it to fill all the way up.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting to see now. I'm just rehabbing it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
From home. The boys have gone back to training, but I can't go back yet because I'm injured, so I'm not fit to play. So only players that are fit to play at the moment can go back.
Yeah.
So I have to do my rehab externally. So which isn't too bad. Like it gives me more time to spend with Willow, but I just miss the boys. Like I've gone from going to training every day to staying at home every day. So it's affected the whole world. So it's not just myself, which I've come to, like, I've realized that. But so the injury itself is was massive, man. So I didn't expect when he said that. I got a shock. Like I was like, how can something like just like this, my first injury, can lead to medically retiring? Like, it's crazy. Like I've been working my whole life, and I'm close to playing. I'm on the verge of playing first grade. I'm right there. I'm in the squad, and then one injury, not little, but yeah, man, can happen to you. So like, it's just made me realize a lot of things, man. Like you can't take footy for granted. You can't take things you love for granted because they can just be taken away from you like that. So I'm sticking to the grind, bro. I'm trying to stay positive. Obviously you have your down days, but I've got my family to lean on. So they've been awesome. My father's been awesome these few years. He's been tough. He's been real tough on me, but I know he just wants the best for me, So I said to myself, I'm going to give it my last shot. I'm coming off contract at the end of the year. New South Wales Cup's been canned, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to do, but I'll just have to leave that up to, to the club and to my manager to sort out. I can only control what I can control. Everything else is out of my control. So I have to see what happens. But like you've seen before, I've overcome things like this, and I'll overcome this too. So so I'll keep grinding, bro. I'll be right. But so it leads me to where I am now. So that's pretty much my journey with footy in an eggshell. So good.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. No, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you sharing, man, because sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy to share things like this, especially when you're still recovering at the moment. You haven't actually gone back in yet. So man, I truly appreciate you opening up about that, man. And bro, I want to ask, what's been some of the learning curves that you've kind of taken on board in terms of footy? You're currently still recovering from your post surgery. Everything that you've gone through for footy. From being little sticks man, right, to not making development, any development at all. To then playing SG, captaining the side, and then having your opportunity right now to be where you're at Cronulla Sharks. Oh man,
I've learned so much, man. Footy's taught me so much. Life schools, as you know, footy doesn't just teach you, how to pass the ball, how to tackle someone. it teaches you how to approach people, how to speak to people, how to make friends. You know what I mean? How to keep friends for a lifetime. You know, it gives you friendships. It gives you so much, bro. Footy. If I could, I just want to give back to rugby league because it is honestly the greatest sport in Australia and one of the greatest sports in the world. So, one thing I've learned, bro, the main thing I've learned is what I said to you before. You can't take rugby league for granted. Like or any sport in general or anything that you love in life, because circumstances happen and at the click of a fingers, it can be taken away from you. So, also, like my main thing is there's no exception but to work hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else but to work hard. If you want something, you go get it. You go grind. There's no excuses. You just work hard. You do the work. People aren't watching. You know, I still remember that year leading into Harold Matthews. Toddy Sapienza used to invite me to his house, and he's just as hungry as what I was at the time, and he probably still is right now.
Yeah.
Well, he was running. I was running hills at Cecil Hills for about 2 hours straight, carrying 5 kilo like dumbbells each hand. I was going for 6K runs, 5K runs, endless days, just to try and, like, you know, make sure I'm ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to the gym 6 days a week. I wasn't resting. Me and Izzy Ciafali used to go to fit and fast at Liverpool. And we never rested, man. We trained 6 days a week, and that's just, my dad's a bricklayer, so he's always embedded into me. You know, you got to work. If you want something, work. You can't give up. Like, I've never been the most naturally talented player. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you know, I used to do some like dumb shit on the field. But because I used to try things like what Benji Marshall would do, flick passes, try to be fancy. But at the end of the day, man, there's no excuses but just to work hard and grind. That's my biggest advice I can give to anyone coming through the ranks, who's young, who wants to play grade, who wants to get to, you know, a first grade squad, and just work hard. Like, even I know now, like, when I go into training, I'm not like that kid that, you know, I'm not the loud spoken, confident bloke that you know. I'm quiet, bro. I'm so quiet. And that's another thing. You got to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You can't be comfortable. You got to be uncomfortable to find comfort, man.
Yeah, man.
And you got to be confident. You can't just hold back. Like, I have regrets too in things. Like, people say I have no regrets, but I do have a regret. Coming into first grade, into the squad, I've tended to sit back a lot, watch the players and try and learn and observe. Like, I still grind. I still go good in fitness and hard in the gym. I still do all that. But when it comes to quiet, and that's the thing, is I feel like I'm starstruck, like, by all these players. Like, I remember in 2018, or 2017 into 2018, with Luke Lewis was still there. I looked up to him. He was my idol. Do you know what I mean? And he sort of took me under his wing. Like, he looked after me. You know what I mean? He guided me through to where I am now. And like, still to this day, we have conversations. And I'm still starstruck by it. Do you know what I mean? Paul Gallen, Peter, Aaron Woods, all these players, you know, Chad Townsend, Sean Johnson, Josh Morris, all these players that I've trained with. I think, bro, I've watched these players from when I was a kid. Like, some boys my age, they go on, like, and they're like, oh, you know, it is what it is. But, like, because I've grown up, like, people don't know my story. They haven't walked in my shoes, so they don't know how much footy means to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I look at these players, I'm like, man, I've watched you as a kid. Josh Dugan, like, I call these people like my good friends, like my brothers now. That's how crazy it is. And then, so I'm just so grateful to be there. But one thing, like, another bit of advice is just don't hold back. When you're there, just go for it. That's if I could change one thing from when I started, is don't be quiet. Don't be that kid in the corner, just learning. Like, it's good to learn. You never stop learning. Always educate yourself. but don't be that shy kid, that would just go through training and train hard, but won't really speak. Because I done that in my first year, and then the year after, I was a different story. I learned, I reevaluated myself, and I come out and I was a lot more talkative. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I felt like I was starting to belong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that time, you're like, you're a little fish going into the ocean. You know what I mean? But now I feel like I belong. The boys message me on a daily basis. We get along real well. So yeah. But that's my biggest advice, man. Is like, don't take rugby league for granted or any sport. And also always grind. No excuses. Like I've been saying throughout this whole podcast, is no excuses for hard work, man. You just work hard. If you want something, you go get it. And then the third one is, don't be shy. Be confident. So, yeah, they're probably my three biggest things, man.
Yeah, nice, bro. No, bro, I appreciate you sharing, man, because I feel like there are people out there who need someone like that, like you, someone like you to just say, bro, what do I need to get there? What do I need to get to the top? And you just sharing your wisdom, bro. You just sharing what you've you've learned. I truly believe people will be encouraged by that, man. But bro, in saying that, man, I want to kind of direct us into a different type of conversation, and I feel like this is a conversation that a lot of people, it's a bit touchy. This is a touchy conversation that, like many people in the world wouldn't really have a conversation about it or talk about it. And it's on this idea of mental health. As you would know, and I know myself, man, like mental health is a real thing. I also know it's a real thing in the footy aspect. So, man, I'd love to, jump along that journey, man, and kind of see, how it's been for a rugby player like yourself, to make it. Like, for me, right, like, in terms of my story, I didn't make 20s. I was fortunate enough to play. It's funny enough, I was fortunate enough to make rep footy when Josh didn't. So when Josh didn't, I was making it in, and then it came to a point where
we were playing together.
Yeah, we were playing together
for a few years.
Yeah, we were playing for a few years, and then after that, it came to a point where I ended up moving to St. George to play for a year, and then after that, bro, like I just lost passion. Like I'm back in, bro. Like I'm playing in Sydney Shield, getting back into it.
How good?
It's something that I've been keeping on the down low just for my own personal sake.
100%.
But yeah, bro, I was just like thinking about it, like, man, you worked your butt off, bro. You worked your butt off to get to where you are now. But I'm guessing that there has been some sort of times where you felt off, or you felt like things, especially 100%. When you were growing up, right? Like looking around and saying, bro, Josh is making para, Matty D's playing, playing para, or Josh made Sydney gold. Like, why didn't I make Sydney gold? Things like that.
And you know what I think was one of the hardest things, but they gave me the most motivation, is that Mick Doolan's one of my best mates, and everyone knows Mick Doolan from when we were growing up. He was an absolute freak, man, and I looked up to him so much. Along with Joy Challenor, they were my best mates. TJ Dargan, coming through school, so like, hanging around them boys and not being in a team and not being in a squad, like with a rep team, they're good mates. They love you for who you are, but at the same time, you don't feel like you're meant to be there. Yeah. At the same time. So also I was playing with boys like you, who are all like my great mates. Richie Summersford at the time, he was killing it. You know what I mean? Like everyone in our Cabra team was almost pretty much in that rep team. Yeah, man. And then I was the one that wasn't in that team. But at the end of the day, man, like it like I said, it just added fuel to my fire. Yeah, right. I wanted to be where you guys were, and I got there. Like, that's what I say. Revert back to hard work. Like, there's no exceptions, but just to work hard. Yeah. And man. Yeah. So that's the main thing, bro. But like, on what you say about the mental health, man, it's massive for me. Like, I've had to face mental demons since I was 14 years old. If I'm going to be honest, like, I've suffered with anxiety for I reckon I've suffered with it since I was 14, but it only come out, and I went and sought help when I was 17. Yep. So me and my partner at the time were probably been together for about just a little under a year at the time. Yeah. And then it was about a year, and I had some stuff with footy, like footy was like sort of pressuring me. Just felt whole load of pressure, man. Like I had school at the time, I had footy, I had my partner, but then like my family, how like they're pretty strict.
Yeah.
My old
yeah.
man, like he lives and breathes footy. We weren't seeing eye to eye at the time. Just a lot was going on in my life at the time, man. And like it all hit me at once, bro. I went through depression, anxiety, and my partner said to me, she's been through me, like with me every step of the way. So she's been awesome. She said, you got to go speak to someone. That's when I said, look, yeah, I was shy because it wasn't really at that time. Not many people were speaking out,
Yeah.
But now a lot. It's mental health has come a long way, man. It's come a long way. So I went and saw someone, and now this is probably my main topic, man. Mental health, like you're not alone. The stats are that 1 in 4 people have anxiety or depression.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stats, and if I can help one person from having bad thoughts, being anxious, if I can make them feel comfortable, I know I'm doing well. So, like I get a big kick out of like it helps my anxiety when I'm helping people. So, like I try, do things out of my day to help others.
Yep.
Which really helps with myself. But yeah, like with footy, footy has its ups, but it is a roller coaster, man. There's no medium in rugby league.
Yeah.
If I can be honest, like there's highs.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, that is, there's highs, and too. There's highs.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go from being up here, and then there's lows.
100%, bro.
There's no medium, man. Like when you're steady is when you're playing first grade and cemented a spot.
Yeah.
And even if you play crap, you're not going to get dropped because you've played first grade for a lot of years. You got to play. You got to play endless, like countless games that are bad for you to get dropped. Do you know what I mean? Like me, I remember last year. Last year I was playing New South Wales Cup, right? I think I played 14 games or 15 games before I got injured.
Yeah, man.
But in that meantime, I think I missed 2 games. Two games, I was 18th man for 2 games.
Yep.
I got dropped from form for 1 game. I played 1 bad game, not even consecutive games. And this is how fast it can take you down, man. I was playing Ron Massey the week after, and I was in the first grade squad. Like and that can stuff with your confidence massively. It means like you start doubting yourself. You start saying all this hard work, and I'm in first grade, but I'm in Ron Massey. But then, luckily, I looked at it. I said, okay, I'm playing Ron Massey. I've got to go and be the best player on that field.
Yeah.
For that 1 game, and then I'll be back up in New South Wales Cup the week after. And that's what I done. Like we went out, we played St. Mary's, and St. Mary's are good enough they have players in there that should be playing New South Wales Cup.
Yeah.
Plus they've got ex-first graders. I went there and I scored 3 tries that game. We lost, but I killed it. And then the week after, I played New South Wales Cup, and I was through the whole game, like for the rest of the time until I got injured and done my knee. So that's how fast footy can. You can be up here 1 minute and then you can be down there, because that's what happened to me last year. Since I've made rep teams, I've never been dropped. Like since I've been in like the rep system, I've always had a contract since then. Obviously, because I've worked hard for it.
Yeah, 100%.
But then once I was there, I was sort of that steady where I was never dropped. I was comfortable. I knew I was going to be selected each week until last year. I had probably the best preseason I've had my whole career.
Yeah.
I played NRL trial against Manly. I went very well. I went pretty good that game, and then playing that round 1 game, we played Mounties, and I had a shocker. It was my first game of the year.
Yeah.
I think I was nervous because I was coming up against players that have played first grade. That should be playing first grade, but playing cup. We played Mounties, and they were Canberra. Canberra went on to play in the grand final last year, and they had players that played in that grand final that versed us in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think on my first touch, I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And my head went down from there. And that's the main thing. Like that's why I'm big on bounce back now.
Oh,
Like
100%, bro. Adversity.
like
Come on, man.
yeah, and you've always been like that with me.
Mm.
You're the guy, like you're one of the best captains I've had, because if I'd make an error, I knew you guys had my back. I knew you
Yeah.
coming in. It's like, it's all right, Curry, it's all right, Josh.
Mm.
You'll bounce back. And I sort of have been missing that. I sort of forgot about that, but
Yeah.
like last year, so I've got that back into myself now. But um, that's the biggest thing, man. Bounce back. Like if you make an error, don't kick stones for the rest of the game, because the game will go like that. And then
100%.
and then the week after you can be gone, man. Like that'll reverse back to, don't take rugby league for granted. Don't take
Yeah.
what you love for granted, man. It's a game at the end of the day. And people make errors in games, but
Mm.
you can make an error 1 minute, and then the next minute you could be under the post scoring a try.
Yeah, man.
So that's just the difference. Or you could be making another error because you kick stones. So that's one
Yeah.
thing I've learned. So I've got my head around, if I make an error, I'm sweet. Like it's just a part of the game.
Mhm.
Whereas I used to, that game especially, I put my head down for the whole game, and I lost motivation.
Yeah.
So I sort of needed that to be dropped down and play Ron Massey for that week. Because then after that, I was smooth sailing for the rest of the year until I done my knee. So yeah, man. So
Yeah, man.
pretty much how it goes, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's crazy, man. That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. I can see why mental health for you is such an important topic to talk about.
It's
you know?
massive, bro. It's massive.
Like you were just mentioning about your anxiety, bro. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know that when I was playing footy with you, bro, that you were going through, times of anxiety.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
I had social anxiety where I that's what I was saying when I went into first grade.
Yeah.
I was that quiet person in the corner, man, because I had social anxiety. Like I couldn't speak to people, man. Like
Yeah.
I could speak to people I was comfortable around. Like you and I, it's like never before. Like
Yeah, bro.
it's like we haven't, you know what I mean? Haven't spoken for like ages, but it's like I spoke to you yesterday.
Yeah, man.
Because we've grown up since we were kids. But like but then with people that I don't know, I'd be like so nervous to speak to them. I'd stutter, like I'd mumble.
Yeah, man.
Like, and it's something, I don't know, like that just happened to me out of nowhere, because I was never like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still fighting with that to this day, but I've come a long way. Like I'm on the I can see the light, you know what I mean? I can see the light to me being how I used to be. But
Yeah.
I guess, with hard work comes struggles, upsets. It leads a lot into this anxiety subject, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just suppressed. I used to brush a lot of things, brush it, put it at the back of my mind. And then a few years later, it all just hits you at once, because you can only take so much.
Yeah.
So you got to speak to someone. Like people need to speak up, because there's no use bottling things in,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a massive topic for me, man. Like I think once I get back, I'm going to start my counselling course. So I'll help the youth with that are struggling, youth from the streets, people that are struggling with anxiety, depression. I'd love to help touch on that subject with them, and give them a hand. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, no, good, bro. Legit, man. Like I can see you, man. I can see you doing that. And it's cool, bro. The cool thing about you, man, is that you have a story.
Yeah,
like you have your own story to back up with, to back up everything that you're doing. You wanting to help out people. It's like, why does Josh Carr help people out? It's like, well, when he was growing up, he needed that person, and that's something that I fully believe in. Like, that's something that I'm still drilling into myself. Is like, some people come up to me, ask me, Josh, why do you do what you do? Like, why do you keep doing what you're doing? And I'm like, I'll tell you why. The reason why I do what I do is because when I was their age, if I'm working for kids, right, I'd be like, the reason why I do so much for them is because that's the person that I needed when I was their age.
Yeah, 100%,
100%, bro.
Yeah, it's like I love my parents. I love my mum. I love my dad so much. But as you know, my dad's a very old school type of guy. He's like, if I was feeling anxious, he's changed a lot now since, like, my brothers all have anxiety. Both of my brothers have anxiety. My dad has anxiety. And my dad has anxiety, depression. My brother's on medication for it too.
Yep.
I think that he's realized, it's better to speak now. So like as we're kids growing up, if we were sad, old man, snap out of it, like you couldn't really feel comfortable going and speaking to him about how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because, but now he's come a long way, especially since my daughter's been born.
Yep.
Like he's, he won't even let my brother work. He goes, you can work if you've got an injury, like a sore hand or, a sore leg. He goes, but if you're mentally not right, you got to go, you can't work. Like that's what he says to brother. So says to us kids, you have to go and speak to people, you got to do things. There's always a process to things, man. Like you have to do the process. If you're feeling down, depressed, you can be sad for that day, but you got to get back up. You got to go get help. You got to do things to make yourself go back to the way you used to be. So that's the biggest thing that he's helped me with so far. But I sort of like, as a kid, I couldn't really speak to anyone. I was always like shy, like nervous to speak to anyone because I think they'd look at me differently when people are already looking at me differently because I'm not making. Do you know what I mean? People are already looking at me differently because I'm not making teams. You know what I mean? And then like when I go and say like they're gonna think, oh, this guy, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm only like pretty much your mate that plays footy with at club. You know what I mean? Like we're all brothers and stuff, but like. There's a point where you just don't want to speak about your emotions, but now I'm massive. Like I'm massive on it. I'm massive. I'll speak to the world about how like my journey and what I've had to overcome. Things like I still struggle with today. Like it is like I said, it's a process. Like things don't come overnight. Like I've had to work really hard, and like only the people that have been with me every step of the way know how far I've come. So, which I'm proud of myself. And how far I've come. But yeah, like I said, like if there's anything, like there's people out there to help you. So anyone listening, that's my best advice. If you're struggling, don't be afraid. Like even message me. Like if you want advice, if you want someone to talk to you, I may not know you, but like give us a buzz. I'm always here to help. So that's my biggest advice.
Yeah, man, I love it, bro. I love it because you're expressing it through your own experience, and that's the most powerful thing, man. The most powerful thing is when you've experienced something and then you get into like you have that drive and motivation to be like, you know what, I'm gonna start something or I'm gonna get into this because you. Wait, I wouldn't really say it's a motivation, bro. I'd say it's your why.
You have 100%.
Like you have a bigger purpose as to why. Like you don't want people to go through what you went through.
Yeah, bro.
You don't want people to feel the way you felt, or for you to feel like, no, for them to feel like, they've lost in life. Because I think for one thing that I've learned too, bro, just even working with kids, I'm doing my social work degree. So I'm already in the sector with learning a lot on people with mental health and working with people that with a disability. I just realized that at the end of the day, all they need is just someone to talk to.
100%.
At the end of the
man.
day, like if I had to keep it as clear and concise as possible, it's just having someone to talk to, because when you're having anxiety, you're pretty much anxious, right? You're like, oh, I don't know what to do. You get confused.
You get nervous to speak to people.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
So all you need to do, bro, is like I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying one of the things I've learned is like when I'm having conversations with people, I simply just like say, hey man, how you going? Like just spark the conversation, because
that's it. Like that's
you never know.
100%. Like I said, like it's stepping out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, man.
Just that one step can go a long way, man. It's
100%.
It can go a long way, and sometimes I think you need to go through hard times to appreciate the good times.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like to not take things for granted. So like I've had that in my life where like I've had to go through the struggles. Like my nan passing was probably one of the most biggest impacts, like on my life. So when she passed away, she was like my second mum. She done everything for me. She helped raise me. You know what I mean? So when she died, it didn't just hurt. It didn't just hit me. It hit me real hard, and I was still young at the time. So that's probably the biggest impact that I've had on my life. It's sort of led me to where I am today. Sort of nearly everything I do in life is to make her proud. So as people do when their parents or grandparents die, they want to make them proud. So no different to anyone else's story, but there's a little change up along the way. So yeah,
man, bro, I truly appreciate you, man. Speaking out because it's not easy. I know I don't say that lightly. I don't say this lightly
100%,
because there are men out there. I know that there are men out there that are probably listening to this saying, "Bro, I wanna be surrounded by men. Be like surrounded by men who've gone through what I've gone through." And as you would know, right? Like there's more males committing suicide than females, and
100%.
you have to question why is that. And I'm like, one of the reasons is like pride, right? Like usually it's our own selfish pride that stops us. Having this macho manliness.
100%.
Like thought, like what, I'm the man. Like I have to, like I don't need to talk to people, and like usually I say this, it's like for those out there that are going through like taking substances, drugs, alcohol, things like that. When people have a conversation with them and say you should stop drinking, right? I think about it. I'm like, they're only saying that because they're saying, what, like it doesn't look good, right? It's not good to drink. It's understandable. Like it's not good to smoke, all that stuff. But I learned, right? It's not that's going to kill them, right? Like with the cigarette.
No way, no.
That's not the thing that's going to kill them, right? It's the mindset. It's the mindset that they're going through, what they're thinking about, the thoughts that they're having. Yeah. That's the thing that's going to kill them, right?
Yeah,
so,
I know. Yeah.
Like, I don't say that lightly, bro. Like, I don't say this, when you're sharing your story, man, I'm getting impacted by it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm getting impacted by your story, bro. If I'm getting impacted by it, I know that other people are. Yeah. And, that's the reason why I don't take this lightly, man. And so, but I was trying to say, man, I appreciate you sharing that, man. And you know what, bro? Like, because I feel like, bro, we went from here, right? And then we went down. Yeah. And now, bro, I want to lift it up, man. I want to get G'd up, man. I know. So, bro, I want to talk, bro. I want to, I want to end it off. We still got a couple minutes to go. I want to talk about, bro, what's been going well in the life of Joshua Carr, because I know that you have your own business. You're running your own business. Like you've got a baby coming through. Like baby number 2. You've already got Willow there too, and but I want to talk on how life's been going. Like the ups. Like the things that are going like really well, because just like every story, bro. There's always like a downfall, and then there's usually something that comes up. So 100%, bro. So I want to have a chat, bro, to see how life's going with you at the moment.
Yeah, bro. Like apart from all that stuff that we've spoken about so far, bro, my life's been going real well. Obviously have my daughter. She keeps me. She's walking. So she turned 1, I think, about 2 weeks ago. Anzac Day. She's born 25th of April. So that was about 2 weeks ago now. And a week and a half before that, she started to walk. So, bro, just the whole process of her growing up is something. It's out of this world, man. When your first child is born, or any child is born, it's people can't describe the feeling. And honestly, mate, like I tell everyone, you should just have to see for yourself, because it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, bro. Like it's so crazy. She's my whole world, man. And now I've got number 2 coming along in October. So October number 2 is due. So praying for that boy. Nah, I'm great. Bro, girls, they love their dad, man. Like she follows me around the house. She'll be up any minute now. She'll probably I'm in the playroom at the moment, so she'll probably come into here looking for me. She says dad all the time. She just every day, like if I'd have a bad day and I look at her, and it just makes everything better, bro. So like my partner's awesome. She's so much for me, we believe in equality. So we both do things around the house. We both help out with Willow. So as much as she does so much for me, I'll try and return the favor back. So, but yeah, like you said, I sort of run like a small business from home at the moment. I've been a barber. I started when I was 15. So I started just cutting hair at home, my brother's hair. Ended up going and doing a school-based apprenticeship when I was 16, and then I went through, and then just been cutting hair ever since. So I'm just working on that at the moment too. I've got like a nice, pretty cool setup in my garage. It's all decked out, chair, everything. So I'm booked out most Fridays, most Wednesdays, most Thursdays. which is awesome, man. Especially with this COVID stuff, not many barbershops are open at the moment, so my clientele's going through the roof, man. It's crazy. It's going through the roof, but it's awesome, man. So, like I said, like I love grinding. You know, I love them hard hours. You know, them extra hours. Go put in. You know, that's how you get ahead. You know, you got to work hard to reap the rewards at the end. So, I'm pretty much outside of footy, man. It's just family. It's just family. It's just cutting hair, which I'm just as passionate about as rugby league. So I think maybe sometimes, you know, cutting hair, it's like an escape for me. You know, you forget about footy when it needs to be forgotten about. You can, it's an art, you know. So I'm just lucky enough. I get to do two things that I love in life. You know, I'm grateful for, you know, like the art of barbering, and I'm grateful for rugby league, and I'm grateful for my family. So and my good friends. So yeah, man. So it's been awesome. You know, like. Just the whole process, the journey, you know, I'm still in that journey. I still haven't played first. I still haven't made my debut, but I will get there one day. So, yeah, man, it's just the process. I just love the process, bro. You got to trust. It's true what they say. You have to trust it, bro. Yeah. You have to trust the process, because if there's no process and you don't trust it, then it's all you. You're on your own, man. And that's when things get into your head. So, and you start self-doubting. Man. So, yeah, man. Other than that, bro, everything's good. You know, like I said, family, my little girls, she just keeps me going all the time, every day. I've never seen one of the main things I've noticed. My dad, I've never seen like my daughter is out of this world. He's the best grandfather anyone could ask for, bro. So like, I was telling him, where was this, bro? Where was this these 22 years, you know? The amount of love, he's like, it's a different feeling when you have a grandchild. I'm like, I said, now I understand how much your parents, they love their kids, you know? Like it says, you have arguments and you think, oh, you know, do my parents love me? But when you have your own, you realize how much your parents actually do love you, man. So, bro, like I said, my family is good. Me and my brothers, we all get along real well. My younger sister, she's growing up too. She's working all the time. She's awesome. She's real good. So yeah, my in-laws, I can't forget about my in-laws. They've been awesome for the past 5 years. They've always had my back, you know. So and my partner's sisters. So she's like one of four. So they're all girls, but but they're awesome. Like, you know, they tell me when I need to snap out of stuff, if I'm being stupid, you know, if I'm thinking stupid, they'll make a funny situation out of a dull moment, bro. There's never dull moments at their at their household, so which is good. So yeah, but everything's good, bro. Like, you know, everything's perfect, I guess, except that I can't be at footy at the moment.
Yeah. That's the one thing. That's the one thing you're working on.
Yeah, nah, man. It's good.
No, it's good, bro. It's good, man. So, bro, before we wrap up, man, I feel like, you know, like we've been talking about footy, bro. We've spoken about, you know, our history, history, and how you made it to where you are now, man. Spoke about a bit about mental health, and spoke a bit about you know, your family or your business, bro. I want to ask, man, is there an encouragement, bro, that you can bring? Is there one thing that you have like in you right now that you would love to share to those that are listening?
As in like an encouragement, like sort of motivation, or?
Yeah, man, like anything, bro. Anything that you got in mind at the moment that you believe that will help people out.
Yeah, I'll just I'll just repeat. I feel like I repeat myself.
Yeah.
But they're the main things I live by, man. Like, always, if anyone's going through a hard time, you know, like don't be afraid to shoot a message out, or to let one of your closest friends know that, you know, you're not going through a good time, that things are hard at the moment. There's always a way out. Don't always, you know, feel like, you know, there's nothing else to do. There's always ways out of, you know, hard situations, bad times. So stick in the grind, you know, everything will be good. And also work and be grateful. Work for what you want in your life. If you want something, like I said, like obviously go get it. You know, you got to have self-motivation. You got to surround yourself around the right people. You can't surround yourself around people that are going to influence you in bad ways.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest advice, my biggest motivation is, you know, you want something, that you go get that. It's like, be grateful for your family. Wake up every day knowing, you know, you've got people around you. Even I know some people come from families that are broken, you know, just know that there are people out there that love you, you know, and you're not on your own. So that's my biggest message I want to send out to people. And yeah, just live life happy, you know, you'll get there eventually. If you're not there now, you shall get there eventually. So find something that you love too. Don't. I know my dad always told me, you know, he hates bricklaying, but that's all he's known. If you're not happy with what you're doing, there's no use of doing it. If it's paying the best money, it doesn't matter. Money's happiness to people, but it's not happiness to everyone. Just do what makes you happy. If you want to play soccer, play soccer. If you've been brought up in a rugby league family and you want to play soccer, you go and play soccer. Don't just do what makes you happy. You know, like I've said to myself, you know, if one day will come where I feel like, you know, footy, I don't love it anymore. I've still got that love for it, but that day that comes where I don't love it anymore, I'm not doing it. That's the thing. I'll cut hair. You know, I'll find something that I love. That's the main thing, man. You're only here for a short amount of time on this earth. Like, you got to make the most of it. And like, by listening to your podcast, bro, honestly, by listening to the other week from Millsy's podcast, he's a prime example. He's living his life and he's gone through a hard time at the moment. And there's people out there that are struggling and they're still positive. So you can find one positive in your day, you know, you're doing good. So yeah, man.
Bro, I'm encouraged, man. Oh, bro, I'm keen, man. Nah, bro, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you jumping on, bro. I appreciate you jumping, like, you know, taking the time out. Like, I know that, you know, you have Willow and your partner's here too at home, and you're in a room right, like, at the moment too. So, bro, I just want to say, man, like, I really appreciate you jumping on board, bro. But hey, man, what's the best way that people can contact you? For any questions or
mainly Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is _Josh Carr with a double R _. And also I've got my barbering account too. If you're keen on getting a haircut and that, come through, DM me. It's _thebarberjosh _. So yeah, so they're my two biggest platforms that I'm on. Instagram, pretty much. Feel free to message me. You know, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So
yeah, sweet. So guys, I'll leave that in our Instagram. He will be promoted through there, so make sure you guys check out our Instagram. And for those that are watching this on YouTube, it'll be down in the description down below. But guys, that is pretty much all we got for this podcast, brother. My man, bro, thank you for jumping on board, bro. We need to catch up
anytime, brother.
But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all we got. I'm just gonna say thank you guys for joining in, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.